just had to add something because Doomy, you had mentioned about the judge then Harold Green, and I'm reading the opinion from Judge Howe. But back in '94, in the transcripts of my husband of Eric Hicks, his sentencing hearing from May of '94, Judge Harold Green stated the outset that it is a sad, his exact words, it is a sad day to condemn young men in their early 20s to life in prison, and that as an individual, it bothers me. However, as a judge and a public official, he was forced to conclude that life is an appropriate sentence for several of the defendants.
Yeah.
So that tells you a lot right there.
Yeah, force.
Just because it's law doesn't mean it's fair.
Absolutely.
And then that law changed. And then the law changed, so the person that get convicted of it today would not be required to have that life sentence that they were required back then. So they're leaving these folks into a gray area where we have recognized that it was wrong, but still saying, well, whatever, forget you.
Forget about the ones who it affected.
Basically, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the nutshell of it right there, because it's so many that's laying in these dormant in these prisons. It was an article, what is USA Today article, Rain in America. It's a good one. You should check it out. It highlights a lot of what we discussing, of how people been charged with these kingpin laws and all these things and couldn't get the rhythm relief that it entails, and what they have ruled unconstitutional. And the title is Grand in America, because you have dudes then they 50, they 60, and you still in there. They got life sentences, can't get out of jail. And you have one of the guys that they highlighted in the article, they had him as a kingpin, but they like 50, 60 years old now. They like, he's not even a harm to society anymore. And you still holding him in jail with a life sentence, wasting taxpayers' dollars.
One of the other things that we hope that this program, this show, and again, thank you all for having us here this evening. We're hoping to be able to get listeners, get viewers when they see our City United Instagram page, Facebook page, website, because we have this information on social media platforms, and we hoping to be able to get people to talk, start conversations. There are far too many of us in families and in communities that know somebody that's currently incarcerated. And many people that's currently incarcerated don't even realize that what they're being held on is what is now being called officially relevant conduct. Right. Because many people don't use that type of language. They just say, oh man, they deny me, or they still hold me in here. They said I did this, they said I did that. Well, it's almost like Jeopardy. You give the answer, then you got to answer the question. Well, what they're talking about is relevant conduct. We can start these conversations, start people to talking to their local officials across the board. If you know people in other states, people following your page, get them to not just follow and click like, and put emojis up, but actually get them to engage in conversations. Start when somebody make a comment on there, start them to conversate, so we can start pushing more of the information out there, get people to talking, so that we can make this not just something that's gonna come and go, because we know that you put a meme up and 20 minutes later you go back there and look, and there's several other things that's been pushed down. So we got to keep the conversation going and not just make it a topic of a show, but rather make it a movement, make it something that we can actually grab hold to and keep pushing throughout America.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because we get the celebrity showings like Kim Kardashian. We thank her, we appreciate her hard work. Like you see the lady Alice Johnson that she helped to get out, the lady that had all the time for drugs, but there are a million Alice Johnsons. There are whole hundreds and thousands of Alice Johnsons that are sentenced unjustly. And, we're here specifically to talk about our brothers Antone White, Eric Hicks. We're here specifically for that, but generally, we're here for everyone. Everyone who is affected by this violation of due process. It may be you one day. It may be your child one day. It may be your mother or your father, your brother. It may be anybody you know one day. If they come into contact with the federal system, they're going to be affected by the guidelines. So it's imperative that we get this
Get educated.
changed.
Well, you know, me hearing everything I'm hearing now, man, it's, like I said, it's mind-boggling for real at the end of the day, because y'all served a whole lot of time, man. And if what I'm hearing, it's just like, damn, we got to get this change. We got to fight for this.
Yeah.
This something you fight for.
It's work.
We got work. We got work, and we have to insert this resistance into our culture as people. We have to look out for one another, and we all we got, and that's what we learning. We sitting right here listening to how politics were inserted into an unjust punishment, how a judge's reputation is holding up someone's life, not just one life, but several people's lives based on the reputation. And I mean, I'm sure it was politics around the time that in '92 when these guys were convicted, and those judges are not supposed to have the power to act arbitrarily and just violate and do what they choose. And we need to address that, and us as a community have to come together and hold these folks accountable, and that's what all our responsibility.
So you guys, do you think it's important to vote? Like,
Absolutely.
why? Can you tell people why and how it makes a difference on who you elect and why you electing these people? Because I just heard
I
y'all
definitely
say,
want y'all to explain this to me, man, because the more and more I try to really understand this voting thing, like, it throws me off, because like we saying right now, these people do what they want to do. Like, ever since I seen the stuff with George Bush and the Gore thing, it kind of, I stopped really believing in how that system worked, man.
Well, you know, what as important as voting itself is educating yourselves on the people that you're voting for. Because many people you'll vote for simply because they're Democrat. And when you'll ask a person, why'd you vote for him over her? They say, well, I'm saying, I wasn't going to vote for him. Vote for no Republicans. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but still, why'd you vote for him, though? You know what I'm saying? And many people can't tell you why. We have to take the time to educate ourselves on the people that we're voting for, same way we do. We educate ourselves on the people we troll on social media when we forming opinions about them.
Yeah.
Know more about the people we troll on social media than the people that's making decisions on our lives.
Yeah.
And the illusion of the voting process, you supposed to have the power.
Yeah.
If you have the power, then you can hold them accountable.
Yeah.
And let them hear your concerns or what moves you. So if they not addressing or adhering to what moves you, then they not for you, so don't vote for them.
Right, because I know it seems like it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't type of thing. Because if you could think back to the last election, you like, well, should I Trump or should I vote
A lot of
for
people was picking
Hillary
Trump.
Clinton? You know, and so it's like you
yeah.
feel like you're damned if you do, and if you're damned if you don't. And we have this misperception in the black community that the Democrats are automatically for the blacks.
Well,